Wakey wakey, the Kellogg'S football camps are back this summer. To claim a free place, purchase a promotional pack of Kellogg's cornflakes, Cocoa Pops or Rice Krispies. Scan the QR code on pack or visit kellogg'sfc.com to request your free code. See website for full terms and conditions.
Craftsman Days are here at Lowe's with big savings on the tools you need. Right now, get a free select tool when you buy the Craftsman V20 2-pack battery kit. Whether it's the backyard, the bathroom, or beyond, Craftsman has the tools to help you power through and get the project done right. Because DIYing is unpredictable, but your tools shouldn't be. Shop Craftsman at Lowe's today. Valid through 6/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
And welcome to day one in this very special Kellogg's Summer Football Camp Super Week. In this episode, we're going to be talking about a football club which is rich in history, a club over 140 years old, a team who are known as the Tractor Boys, and a team who, get this, have never been beaten in a European match at their home stadium, even in games against the likes of AC Milan and Real Madrid. Yes, you guessed it, or maybe you didn't. I'm talking about no other than Ipswich Town Football Club. As this is a very special Super Week with Kellogg's, we are doing a team shout-out week. So if you want to hear your name, your team on the podcast, then send me your team name, who you are, your teammates, your coaches, and why you're a bunch of legends to Darren@footballforkidspodcast.com. Now, a few teams to shout out on this episode are the Mercham Colts Under-9 Blues. So, Mercham Colts Under-9 Blues, a massive shout out to Coach Sam, Coach John, Matt and Ben for all that you do at the club and for the team. Apparently, you lot are a bunch of legends yourself, and it wouldn't be the same without you. So a huge shout out to all the coaches and all the team, every single person who has everything to do with that club at Mercham Colts Under-9s Blues. Next up is a massive shout out to Jesse, who plays for West Hove Dynamos. Go on, you Dynamos. So a massive shout out to you, Jesse, and every single person who plays in your team, and the legends who are Adam, John, Mark and Rob, who run the team. And lastly on this episode, we've got a team in Germany we need to give a shout out to, and that team is SG Schildo. Hopefully I haven't butchered that. So, a massive shout out to Felix, who plays for SG Schildo, and to the coaches, Stefan, Benny, Ollie and Basti, as well as all of the team and every single player who plays within that team, including the likes of Johan, Leonard, Molt, hopefully I've said that name right, Lewis and Carl, and of course, every other person involved in the club. Right then, let's get into it, shall we? On a team who were in the Premier League, but will be playing in the Championship next season, who is, of course, no other than Ipswich Town Football Club, aka the Tractor Boys. The boys at Portman Road who have never been beaten in a European game. Ipswich Town were born 146 years ago as I record this. That's 1878 in case you were trying to work it out. The club is so old that they were formed before Albert Einstein was even born. But this is how it all happened. Originally, Ipswich Town were an amateur football club called Ipswich Town AFC until 1888, when the football team got together with the rugby team, and that was when they became Ipswich Town Football Club. Over the next 30 years or so, Ipswich Town Football Club, who were still considered to be an amateur side, were playing in all the local leagues and steadily starting to build a fan base. In the process, they won several amateur football cups and competitions, and by the mid-30s, they had joined their first professional league, and that is when they officially became a professional football team. Eventually, after a lot of ups and a lot of downs, promotions and relegations, Ipswich Town would find themselves in the English top division. In their first attempt at the English top division, they didn't just survive, they won the entire league. Because Ipswich won the league, they qualified for the European Cup, where they had a record-breaking win against a team called Floriana. They beat them 14-1 on aggregate, but were knocked out of the competition in the next game by AC Milan. However, a couple of years after winning the English top division and playing European football, Ipswich found themselves slipping down the English leagues and having some terrible seasons. One season was so bad that they conceded 121 goals in 42 games. The fans must have watched that season through their fingers. Still to this day, it's one of the worst seasons for conceding goals in English football history, one that Ipswich Town fans would rather forget about. Now, you may have heard of a man called Bobby Robson. He was a great player for West Brom and Fulham. He was also a legendary manager, and I mean a proper legend of a manager, for the likes of Barcelona, FC Porto in Portugal, Sporting Lisbon, Newcastle United, and the men's England side for 8 years. Oh, and of course, for Ipswich Town as well. Bobby Robson, or eventually as he would become Sir Bobby Robson, did a lot for Ipswich Town. Robson led Ipswich to their first and only FA Cup win in 1978, and later won the UEFA Cup in 1981. Under Sir Bobby Robson, Ipswich regularly finished in the top 5 of the league, competing with the big clubs like Liverpool and Manchester United. He blended top British players with skillful foreign talent, making Ipswich one of the most admired teams in the country. Sir Bobby Robson took Ipswich into the European competitions not once but multiple times, achieving memorable victories and beating some of the biggest and most formidable teams in European football several times. In the 1980-81 season, Ipswich came very close to winning 3 major titles, so that was the League, the FA Cup and the UEFA Cup. It was in this season that Ipswich Town showed how they were a proper contender with the big teams in the league. And then in 1982, after many years in charge of Ipswich Town and many exciting years of huge success, Sir Bobby Robson was made the manager of the England men's national side and left Ipswich with a truckload of memories. And today, if you go to Portman Road, the home of Ipswich Town, you will find a stand there called the Sir Bobby Robson stand. Once Sir Bobby Robson left the club, I've got to tell you, it all went downhill. They spent 10 years getting lower and lower in the first division until they were eventually relegated to the second division. And then they went down and down, then they went back up again, and then eventually they were promoted and found themselves in the newly founded Premier League in 1992. Ipswich Town have always been a bit of a yo-yo club. They've certainly had their successes over the years, and big successes too. But they have without any doubt whatsoever, been a yo-yo club, where they've continuously gone up and down. If it's not been going up and down the leagues, it's most definitely been going up and down the league that they're in. Ipswich Town have got themselves a nickname. That nickname is the Tractor Boys. Where Ipswich is on the map is in the northeast of the country, in Suffolk, where there is a lot of farmland and a huge farming community. The name the Tractor Boys apparently came from a chant from an opposition team when Ipswich were losing. The opposition fans started singing, "No noise from the Tractor Boys, no noise from the Tractor Boys, no noise from the Tractor Boys, no noise from the Tractor Boys." Instead of taking offence to the chant, the Ipswich fans absolutely loved it, and they took it on board. And soon as they started winning in games, they would start singing 1-0 to the Tractor Boys, 1-0 to the Tractor Boys, 1-0 to the Tractor Boys, 1-0 to the Tractor Boys. Ipswich have pretty much always worn the colour blue. Even all the way back to the 1800s when they were first formed, they were seen in a dark blue jersey. Over the years, they've had some variation in football kits, from stripy blue to different shades of blue, into the blue which we know them for today. In the Ipswich Town Club logo, or crest, or whatever you want to call it, you will see a horse and a castle. The horse is there because many years ago, a particular breed of horse called a Suffolk Punch would be used on the farmland around Ipswich and the surrounding area. These horses were known for being strong and having great stamina and fantastic durability. All things that Ipswich Town Football Club pride themselves on. The castle in the logo is a place known as Wolsey Gate. Ipswich Town's biggest rivals are Norwich Football Club. The two are not too far away from each other, and they are most definitely the two biggest clubs in that part of the country. The nickname for the two of them, their derby, when they play each other, is the Old Farm Derby, which is, of course, a spin-off of the Glaswegian Derby, the Old Firm Derby, which is between Glasgow Rangers and Celtic. It's probably safe to say that there's nobody more that Ipswich would want to beat than Norwich, and the same the other way around. A lot of the time, when these two play each other, they are fierce matches, and there have been a lot of draws over the years. And to finish this episode off on Ipswich Town Football Club, here are a few facts for you to impress your football-loving friends and family. Number 1. Ed Sheeran, one of the world's most popular music artists, is a part owner of the football club and sponsors the front of a shirt for the team. Ed only owns a very small amount of the club, which is thought to be about 1.4%, but he's often seen at matches and wearing an Ipswich Town football top when he's performing on his tour all around the world. Also, a little side fact, Ed Sheeran has a song called Castle on the Hill. You may well have heard it. And many people think it's the castle-looking building in the Ipswich Town Football Club logo. However, it's not. It's based on a castle nearby called Framlingham Castle, and I've been there. Next up, did you know that over 100 years ago, football goals didn't actually have nets? It was just a crossbar and the post, so when the ball went into the goal, it would go straight into the crowd. Good luck getting that back. Ipswich, however, were one of the very first teams in the whole of English football and Scottish and Irish and Welsh football to install nets. So, Ipswich players were really some of the very first to hit the back of the net. And lastly, as you heard earlier on, Ipswich have had their fair share of European success, especially under the legend that was Sir Bobby Robson. But even as I record this today in 2025, they are still completely unbeaten in European competitions at their home stadium of Portman Road. Not many can say that. Alright, I'll give you one more. I did say lastly, but lastly, the final one is that Ipswich have only ever won the FA Cup once. It came on the 100-year anniversary of the club being formed in 1978. The winning goal scorer that day was a man called Roger Osborne. He was so excited and so overwhelmed by the fact that he had scored the winner that he fainted on the pitch and had to be stretchered off. So, there you go then, Ipswich Town Football Club, a club which has had their ups and their downs, magical moments and huge amounts of history. From connections to global superstars like Ed Sheeran to the Old Farm Derby. Now, whenever you hear their score on the TV or on the radio, or maybe you travel to Portman Road to watch some football, you know loads about them. You've got stats and facts up your sleeve and plenty of other stuff. So remember, if you know someone who loves football just as much as you do, then please tell them about Football for Kids. And whether you're playing football soon, watching it on the telly, or pitchside, I hope that you enjoy the game. See you next time. Oh, and don't forget, grab yourself a promotional pack of Kellogg'S cereal and get yourself to a summer football camp.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
We all know that owning a small business means you wear many hats, but sometimes you really need an extra pair of hands. Upwork is how good companies find great and trusted freelance talent. With more than 2 decades of experience, with the simple and ambitious goal of pioneering a better way of working, companies at every stage turn to Upwork to get things done and find more flexibility in staffing key projects and initiatives. They access a global marketplace filled with top talent in IT, web dev, marketing, and more. Posting a job on Upwork is easy. With no cost to join, you can register, browse freelancer profiles, and get help drafting a job post or even book a consultation. From there, you connect with freelancers that get you and can easily hire them and take your business to the next level. Visit Upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That's Upwork.com to post your job for free and connect with top talent ready to help your business grow. That's UPWORK.com, Upwork.com.